has a very small dick.
Oh, damn it. I actually already pressed record by that point, so that's...
Then you and.
well, when has been and gone, I'm afraid.
Shit. Shit.
Hi and hello, Watch fans, and welcome to another edition of The Real Time Show with me, your friendly neighborhood watchmaker, Rob Nuds. I am joined today by Guillaume from, well, where are you from? Nivada, Grenchen, SpaceOne.
And Vulcain.
And Vulcain.
Exactly.
I love Vulcain, you know.
Yeah,
Doesn't get enough pop.
Sorry?
It doesn't get enough pop. Doesn't get
Exactly.
attention.
Yeah. We have to make more pop on Vulcain because we are doing some cool stuff. We just released the Chrono Skin Diver, which is the new collection, and we had a lot of interest on Instagram and from all the blogs already, but it's coming in sale in a few weeks, so go check this out.
I definitely will go check it out. And if anyone else is here at the Villa Sarasan at the time to watch this event and wants to go and see it, then please do get... Where are you? First floor? Second floor?
We are in the annex.
In the annex, around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. We have been punished, so we are a bit far. We have
Probably the safest place for you. You are a bit of a fire starter, shall we say. In fact, you are. Fire starter is maybe a good way to describe you. In the industry, you certainly created a firestorm of interest around the brands that you have been overseeing in the last few years. I guess most notably, people will know you from Nivada Grenchen because it's maybe the biggest story of the last five or so years. But recently, SpaceOne.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, talk to me.
Yeah, SpaceOne has been a crazy start. At first, it was like just a side project, but we made like 3 million euro turnover in 1 year and 1,500 watches produced, something like this. And now we found a great audience because we are providing something that almost no one else is providing. Is beautiful concept watch with futuristic design, but also with our own complication. So our own jumping hour made by Theo Fret, our own tellurium that is also made by Theo, and we will release in the coming months. That's what I'm wearing right now, a world timer that's pretty cool, and where you have local time on the bottom. Is
Okay, I'm making good.
And then you have like the multi-city dial on the left.
Holy
where you
smokes.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and what is crazy is that we have almost the same size as the jumping. So it's a back on the jumping a bit kind of shape, but reimagined by Olivier Gamiet, the designer who made the case for the tellurium. And then Theo has developed a full in-house world timer complication to add over the top.
Okay, so I have to talk about this watch because I've not bought a SpaceOne yet.
Yeah,
I have to admit.
you have to.
I really must. Yeah, I can't really think.
Yep, it's too much sun. A cap.
Oh yeah, of course. We're in a glass igloo.
Yeah.
The sun has risen over us. It's blazing, blinding, and yeah, we need to wear caps because our heads are on fire. I haven't bought one yet, but I have the intention of buying one. I think when the first model came out, I loved the shape, I loved the wearability, I loved the complication. I just thought the best one was the carbon one, and then I was too late. I didn't get there fast enough. It sold out in a heartbeat. So I thought I'll wait and see what comes next, and the Tellurium comes out. And I think it is the best value, complicated watch in the industry, bar none. I was amazed, I must admit, no disrespect to Otsuka Low-Tech, because I love what they do. Aesthetically, I think it's brilliant. And it's very creative mechanically, but I was amazed you didn't win the GPHG.
Yeah,
absolutely amazed. Yeah, I can imagine. Thank you for the honesty as well, because to be quite frank, the Otsuka Low-Tech is a brilliant under the radar collector's piece. It's a real like watch nerds piece, but the SpaceOne doesn't just bring a new creative display. It brings this the SpaceOne Tellurium. It brings this case. It brings this complication. This something you cannot get at that price point, something we didn't think was really possible to be produced at that price point with that quality as well. Now, if this was thrown together, if this was some cheap muck and it just like looked good, then fine, forget about it. But this is an incredibly quality product. When you get it in your hands and you see the quality of the machining, the finishing, the comfort of it on the wrist, it blows your mind. You actually have to ask twice because it isn't that... Well, it's nearly 3,000 euros.
Yeah,
it's just
2,000. Yeah.
It's about 3,000 euros. Like, it's not that that's not a lot of money. For a lot of people, that is a huge amount of money, more than they maybe would ever be able to spend on a watch. For many watch collectors, though, that's a drop in the ocean. And it doesn't make you question, like, oh, what's going on? It makes you question what's going on with all the other brands.
Yeah.
Like, why is it like 10K to buy a Rolex to start with these days?
Yeah.
It's a joke when you can get this kind of creativity on your wrist. But this model, like you say, it brings back a similar case shape of the first. It looks like a spaceship. It even has like, what would you call these? Like rocket boosters on the back.
Yes, kind of, yeah.
It's incredible. And you've got the crown on the sides. It is unlike
And you
almost.
can set everything only with the crown, like the Tellurium. So, in fact, we plugged the complication to the date, just same as we did with the Tellurium. And then we had our own magic.
This is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful shape, extremely ergonomic. Wears on the wrist wonderfully. It's very light as well.
It's titanium.
Oh wow!
Grade 5.
And it's blued. So
this one is blue. You have the black and you have the Titan color.
And do you know exactly or roughly what the retail price is going to be on this one?
What do you think?
Well, because you've kind of spoiled us so far with what you've brought out, I'm tempted to guess that it's going to be low. I think it has to be. I feel like it has to be more than the Tellurium. So I'm going to go 3.8.
No. 2.7. 2,700. You have to buy it now.
Oh my word! Normally I edit out pauses in podcasts, but that one is staying. My jaw it dropped open. Right, I'm stunned. This is the most. Yeah, this is a stupid thing to say, okay? Like, I've said it a couple of times to Phil Toledano and Alfred Chan about their watches. Every time they release a new one, I go, this is the maturation of the concept. This is the piece we're all waiting for. And they're getting sick of hearing it because they're like, Rob, we got more to come. You don't know what's coming yet. This is going to be exciting. This, to me, I just think, I love the Tellurium. I think it's superb. I get why people wouldn't buy it because it might be a bit too out there. It might be a bit too avant-garde.
Yeah.
Especially if it was your only watch. It's not an only watch, really. It's a special piece. This could be an only watch. It could be a one-watch collection. Congratulations. Thank you for the industry. That's an incredible piece.
It's cool, huh?
Let's talk about Nivada Grenchen.
Yeah.
So what's going on with this now? You are cranking out releases, like really, really desirable releases on the regular. So what's happening?
Yeah, but we try to always be on the news and to have something to please our collectors, and our fan base is growing. I think we sold like 12,000 watches last year. So
12,000 watches.
Yeah. We have now like more than 80 point of sales worldwide.
Incredible.
And we are doing more than half of the business now outside the website, because at first it was only pre-orders website. So I started to open 1 point of sale, 2 point of sales, a few more, to see if the sellout was there, if the product was okay for also the distribution, for the retailers. We go only in direct with the point of sale, like your good friend Elon, and yes, and we see it was a good business. I think we took the place of many brands who increased too much their prices. I mean, when you see that you have to pay like 6,000 euro now for chrono. Carrera Tagaya, for example, or even more. And we are selling our chrono at between 2000 and 2005, Swiss made. You see there is a disconnection now, I think, with the value and the perceived value. And it's also the case for example, even Longines, who took the place of Omega, who tried to get the price of Rolex. So they gave us a place, I think, and that's also what the retailers are starting to see. We are starting to see that a lot of customers want micro brand, even if we are not. We are considered as a micro brand with Nivada, but we are more brand now, I think, because also of the quantities and also with the history and the legacy of the brand that has been created in 1926. So there is some good legitimacy. There is a crazy back catalog. So every day I discover new pieces from the past. So that's quite crazy. And yes, I think we took the place of some brands who raise too much their prices, who maybe sit or sleep in their corner, and that's good for us. So I mean, why not? And that's the way we are going with Nivada. I think we also have listened some customers wanted a bit bigger size, because me, I'm a watch vintage nerd, so I wanted always to have the same size as the vintage one. And this year we are coming with a 41mm version of the F77, a 41 version millimeter of the Chronomaster and 42 millimeter of the Deathmaster. So like this, we can also please the guys who said, "Wow, you're doing only ladies' watches." And I always said, "Ah, fuck off." I mean, but why? But yes, sometimes I do a lot of watch fairs, I do a lot of events, and yes, some guys that just have wrists that are too big to wear small watches like us. So and they were frustrated that because they love the design, they love the price point, but they said, no, it's on me, it doesn't work. So after 5 years already, so I've listened a lot, and we are going to launch that in September. So we introduced them to the retailers since the beginning of the week, and we had some very good reaction. We will also launch a new ladies collection, based on the Colorama collection, which was a crazy ladies collection from Nivada, where you can play with different bezels and straps. Very tiny watch that will come also in September. That is not just a smaller size of one of our main collection with diamond, or mother of pearl. It's a really ladies collection. I showed it to some retailers this morning, ladies, and we were crazy about it. So it was some good reaction. So no, it's a lot of things are coming for Nivada also, and yes, you have to follow the track.
So in this industry, ironic is timing is everything. When you launch a brand, its success or failure is sometimes entirely predicated on the market climate, as it were. Now, what year was it that you brought Nivada back to life?
It was just beginning of COVID.
Right. So perfect timing.
It was perfect timing.
Yeah. So many people are so envious of brands that were able to, get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
Be established. People were keen to buy. People were, they had more disposable income than they probably ever did before in their lives.
Exactly.
And these watches were extremely accessible. They allowed people to scratch the itch, give them something to look forward to in some dark times for many people. But by the time we came out of COVID, you'd grown to such an extent. Look, I never liked the term microbrand to describe a brand that certainly has the heritage of Nivada and is not emulating anybody else.
Yeah.
You are mining your own heritage, of course, but for me, you're a small independent, and
yeah, exactly.
Very,
nice. Yeah.
Very quickly became that. For me, SpaceOne was never a microbrand. It just never fit in that mold for me. Some people think that, if you're small, if you have a low volume, or if you're new, then that makes you a microbrand. I don't believe that's the case. Nobody ever called Chapek a microbrand when it came back because of the price point. And I don't think price point has a huge amount to do with micro, other than the fact that micros themselves rarely go above the 1,000-2,000 euro bracket because they don't do anything that requires them to. When you're doing stuff like you're doing, when you're actually like bringing design and quality manufacturing, Swiss-made pieces to the market, and you're doing it off your own back, for me, that status as a small independent is something that we should always be respectful of, and not denigrate a brand that's new as a micro, because you're actually offering something to the conversation.
Yep.
What's coming next from Vulcain? Another brand with a huge heritage.
Yeah. But as I was saying, we have the new Chrono Skin Diver that's coming. We also have, it's also inspired by a vintage piece I found on, I think it not Chrono 24 or eBay, but and I bought the piece and I said, wow, it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I started to share it on the Instagram of Vulcain, and we had some good reaction, and that's how we decided to launch it. We also have a new Grand Prix that came last week. Also very affordable with a small second at 1,500, and this piece is crazy cool, and yes, and it's new stuff also are coming. New cricket, we are working. It's a very long process, but on a new version of the cricket movement, because it has not been evolved since a few years now, and we wanted to add some new stuff on this. Some new, maybe a better power reserve, modernize the process, and have a better also cost of goods on the movement to be able to fit the profitability also, because the cricket movement is very costly to make. It's still manufactured in a loft in our own factory.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a big change for Vulcain. And but it's coming. It will be released, I hope, next year.
You have retailers for Vulcain as well?
Yeah, for sure. With Elon in Israel. Yeah, Vulcain is more a retail brand. We are doing not 80%, but a majority of sales on the retail side because it's a more traditional brand. Even if I relaunched the brand online on pre-orders at first, that was the concept. But now it's very strong in Italy, in Switzerland, in the US also, obviously, with the President Watch, the cricket.
Yeah.
And we're happy. It's doing a good. It's a good comeback. Yeah, as you said, we need to make more communication to make it more pop, and it's on the good way, I think. Yeah.
So for people that haven't had a chance to try on Nivada, Grenchen, or Vulcain, or SpaceOne, obviously they can come along to any of these major events, and you do show at quite a lot of events, and you put a lot of time and money and effort into that.
Yeah.
But you have this now global network. Where in the world are you most represented? Are you in the US? Are you in Europe?
Yeah, majority is US. For all the brands that I have, but for many, to be honest. What is quite surprising with or not with, for example, SpaceOne is that our second biggest market is Singapore.
Okay.
So you can walk on the street in Singapore and see people with SpaceOne on the wrist. So that's quite
Very
pretty.
interesting.
Third market is Hong Kong for SpaceOne, and then Middle East. And for Nivada, it's US, then Europe. UK is strong. UK is very strong. I think it's the second market on the website.
Okay.
Germany is not that bad. Switzerland also, and France. Maybe because of me.
Homegrown hero. Oh, man.
Yeah. But no, it's and that's what's crazy is that just yesterday we learned about the tariff from Trump.
Okay, let's talk
And
about that.
wow, what the fuck? So that's big news. I think I started to talk a bit this morning with some retailers from the US who came to see us. A little one named Watches of Switzerland.
Oh yeah, Tinny's not.
And they were wow, and it's a big surprise for everyone. So I think yes, this is going to be a big topic because maybe we're out of time already, but it's going to be a big change for the industry.
I mean, we're recording this on the 3rd of April, so it's extremely fresh.
Yeah.
Now we've seen Trump announce tariffs that have quickly been walked back when he got what he wanted immediately.
Yeah.
I think there was one situation with a attempted deportation of people where, that was just threatening, posturing and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's possible, I suppose, that these tariffs won't stick.
I mean, you never know with him. It's quite uncertain. So we hope it's maybe just to make some good negotiation and to. But let's see what Europe is going to make an announcement today or tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's just a play game, of negotiation or not. But yes, for sure, 31%.
Yeah,
it's huge.
So that's 31 out of Switzerland, right? And 20 for the rest of the EU. Is that the last update, or is it?
Yeah, from what I've seen, 20% for Europe, 31% for and more than 50 for China. So wow,
good grief! Yeah, no, and the numbers are changing all the time. I woke up looking through texts, and we were discussing it last night, and we were up quite late in the pub, so we had we were getting all the news as it was coming out fresh, and some people, they'd obviously gone to bed when they thought it was only going to be 10%. And then I woke up and saw all these people discussing this and thinking, oh, this is the worst possible scenario. And I'm like, guys, there's been an update, It seems like it's even worse than we thought it was. Do you have at this point, assuming that those tariffs do stick, any strategies in mind of what you might do as somebody that obviously exports a lot of watches to the US?
Yeah, maybe assemble in the US in some way. We have with Maurichard a possibility to do that with the group I'm working with because we have a big office in Phoenix now for different projects. And I mean, if it stays, back in the days, a lot of Swiss watches were assembled in the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Because there was some tariffs back in, I think, the 70s or the 80s. Many brands had some workshop there. So it could be a return of this kind of thing because the labor in Virgin Islands is very low for the US. And that was enabled to make the market for cheap watches. But let's see, I mean, at once, Omega was assembling the watches in Mexico for Mexico market. So who knows?
Being in that situation where you do have the potential to assemble in America, it's obviously a pretty unusual and good situation to be in. At least that's an avenue you could explore. I mean, a lot of brands who.
But I'm saying that. But I mean, if I have to do 12,000 watches assembled in the US next week, I will not have the manpower, the watchmakers. After you have to check if it's not even more expensive to do that than pay the 31% in the end. Fuck, it's crazy.
I've been talking to some of the brands that I work with this morning about it, and we're sort of mooting how can we get around it. And I said, well, for some of them very small brands that don't yet have an established retailer network. And we'd been hoping this year to really build up that retail network, especially in the US. Now, of course, that's really difficult because when you've got to give a full, like even a keystone margin of around 40%, and you're adding in these tariffs, like someone's got to pay them. The retailers aren't going to want to. The customer's not going to want to shoulder that burden. And brands really can't. So, we're saying, okay, well, maybe we could do a small price increase and just ditch the idea of retail and just sell direct and kind of absorb it ourselves, basically see the tariffs as our loss of keystone. Because if we pass it on to the customer, then, 31%. It's another watch in many cases.
Yes, for sure. But especially for the brands who, as I was saying earlier, many brands increase too much their prices. So they are not selling out.
Right.
So if I take again the example of the Carrera at 6,000, a Carrera now at almost 8,000. What the fuck? For us on a watch at 1,000, it's like 1,300. So it's huge percentage, but in value, it's. I think for a US consumer, it's not that big. And it's maybe we will take a bit less margin to absorb a bit. It's not the end of the day. I hope it's not the end of the day. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, to be fair, it might actually be a good thing for brands in your price point that offer great value.
The second option I was thinking is that for the brand who are already out of market, for me, it could kill them. It'd be very bad. For us, it's maybe will slow a bit. But, I was dining with Etienne from Baltic. And we were listening in the same time the interview from the Trump. And he was also very concerned because he's shipping a lot in the US from France. So from France, it's only 20% more. But yes, let's see. Suspense.
It's very significant, isn't it? It's an inflection point. But I think you hit upon a good point with those brands that have gone a little bit crazy with their pricing structures already.
Reverso, G-Lecoultre, 10,000.
Omega Speedmaster creeping up towards that itself.
It will be more than 10,000 for Speedmaster.
And the funny thing is, you asked me how much I guessed that new SpaceOne was. I said 3.8, and you said it's
2,700.
So if you add the 30% onto that 2.7, it doesn't even reach my estimate. So when you've got that kind of perceived value in the product, then maybe this is a moment. Maybe this is a moment where the big brands finally get the rug pulled from under their feet, and the small guys that haven't been screwing over the consumer actually come to the fore, even with that 30 or 20% for the rest of you. Okay, well, maybe that's an optimistic note upon which to end this conversation. It's nice that we get into it because it's very current, of course. I'm going to try and edit this and put this out ASAP so people can hear it because it's really relevant, I think, to what's going on right now. We need to get you back on the show. Obviously, you've been a guest on the Real Time Show in the past, but it's been a long time since we've had a good, long, hour-long sit down together.
For sure, it's a pleasure.
Guillaume, thank you again for your time. Thank you for what you're doing for the industry. We appreciate it, all the hard work and all the effort, and also for sitting in direct sunlight and being blinded and fried to a crisp. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much.